What's going on, everybody? It's Matt Thornsberry here with another week and another edition of Matt's Big 12 Blitz here on Kuz's Corner. Happy Friday to you guys. I hope you guys have had a good week. Hey, it's Backyard Brawl Week. Can't wait to watch that tomorrow. We always look forward to that one. Hey, we're looking forward to speaking today about last week's games, Big 12 games, and of course, talking about a couple games that we have tonight, actually, UNLV at Kansas and Arizona and K-State. Two really good games that probably don't want to miss. So we're going to get into those. But first, of course, as we did last week, we're going to be talking about last week's games. And nonetheless, here we are. And we're going to go right into it. The first game we want to talk about. Hold up. I forgot about this. Last week, I made some predictions on 5 games, I believe it was. And I wanted to share this with you guys. Pretty cool, pretty neat. The 5 predictions I made last week are right. Hold on just a second. Right here. Just want to touch base on this since we're talking about last week's games. Last week, I made predictions on these games. Number 11, Utah versus Baylor. I predicted 34-14. I kind of expected a little more scoring, but we all know Cam Rising went out with the injury. But nonetheless, I predicted 34-14. The final score was 23-12. I predicted number 16, OK State versus Arkansas. I predicted 34-24. Hey, Arkansas was ready to go at it, man. You got to give it to them. They played a really, really good game. But I predicted 34-24. Final was 39-31. Iowa State at number 21, Iowa. I predicted that 2017. Iowa State. Final 20-19. I knew it was going to be a tough time for Iowa State to go into Iowa, a ranked Iowa team, and beat them in Farmageddon. But I knew the team that Matt Campbell had, and I knew they were ready to play. Next game, I predicted Colorado, Nebraska. Hey, I knew that Nebraska, Matt Rule's Nebraska, they're really tough. Again, I said last week, Matt Rule's a great coach, and he had that team ready to play, man. I predicted Nebraska to win 35-20. Hey, they came out and win 28-10. Put a spanking on Colorado. And, of course, the last game, WVU versus Albany, I mean, of course, we all knew that probably wasn't going to be close. Nonetheless, I predicted West Virginia to win 42-17. They come out of Morgantown with a win, 49-14. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just wanted to share that with you guys. It's not very often that, you go 5-0 on predictions for a week. So super cool to talk about. Anyways, let's move forward. I mentioned Utah and Baylor. We all seen Cam Rising. Utah got off to a quick start. Let me pop it up here real quick. Utah got off to a quick start. I mean, they were 17-0 in the first quarter. Cam Rising, as I have at the bottom, he was 8 of 14, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was having himself a good game, good start to the game. And unfortunately, it's one of those plays you don't like to see. Gets shoved out of bounds and injures his hand and goes out of the game. And from then on, I mean, Baylor was giving them everything they could handle, right? Kudos to Utah for pulling it out without Cam Rising. I know for several teams, it's tough to pull out wins without your starting quarterback. You have to hope that your backup quarterback's ready to roll, man. And sure enough, they came in. Backup quarterback came in. Isaac Wilson came in, and he did just enough, right? He was 4 of 9, 30 yards. What more could you do? I mean, your running game, Micah Bernard had 19 carries for 118 yards. You had 170 yards on the ground. Nobody else really did anything. But Micah Bernard, 19 carries, 118 yards. Can't be mad at that, especially with your starting quarterback to go out. So, hey, got to give it to Utah for hanging in there and getting I would say, a much-needed win over Baylor after Cam Rising went out. If they would have lost that game, it would have been, I won't say detrimental, but it would have been tough. That would have been a tough loss for Utah. Utah gets away from Baylor 23-12. last week, and let's keep moving on. This game surprised me. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Oklahoma State, Arkansas, double overtime. Great game. Oklahoma State, somebody had mentioned last week that, I believe it was Matt, they had mentioned that Oklahoma State's defense was suspect, and I guess so. They allowed 31 points, and they barely get away with a win against Arkansas. And in double overtime, Alan Bowman, 27 of 48, 326 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. How about Ollie Gordon? Ollie Gordon, the second, he had 17 carries for only 49 yards and a touchdown. Give it to Arkansas. That Arkansas defense was being feisty. But, of course, it was Ollie Gordon's 12-yard touchdown run and 2-point conversion catch in the second overtime that pushed Oklahoma State for the W. So, it doesn't matter as long as you get the win. And he made the play when it counted. How many times did you hear that in high school ball or when you guys played sports? As long as you make the plays when it counts, that's all that matters. And Ollie Gordon did just that. He didn't have that great of a game, but he comes down in crunch time. Ollie Gordon comes out and gets Oklahoma State that win. Got to give it to him. That's a big win for Oklahoma State. You would think that they wouldn't have had much of a problem being, at Oklahoma State, especially in the first quarter. Arkansas gets out to a 14-0 start. That Arkansas fan base is thinking, whoa, what's going on? Our 16th ranked Cowboys are struggling. What is the deal? Especially when you have Ollie Gordon on the team. And I want to say Alan Bowman. Alan Bowman's a good quarterback, of course, not taking anything away from him. But, sometimes his consistency is a little bit lackluster. So, that's why they have to rely on Ollie Gordon so much. But give it to him this game, man. I mean, like I said, Alan Bowman had 326 yards. So he did what he needed to do to win this game. Nonetheless, Oklahoma State pulls it out in double overtime, 39-31. Moving forward, great game, fantastic game, this next one. Iowa State and Iowa. I mean, you couldn't picture a better Farmageddon, right? You couldn't picture a better one. And it's crazy to me that I predicted 20-17 Iowa State, and it comes out 2019. That's wild. Nonetheless, you got to give it to the Iowa State quarterback, Becht, 23 of 35, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. And then, of course, Noel had 5 receptions, 133 yards, and 1 touchdown. Yeah, man, what a game. This is the kind of games that you like to see in rivalry games. It's funny. I believe I mentioned it last week as well, is that it doesn't matter what kind of team you have in a rivalry game. You could have, one of your worst teams in the last probably 5 or 6 years. And you come into a rivalry game, it's just a different, I don't know. You just have a different mindset. You're ready to play. You're ready to go. Your nerves are a little more heightened, and you want to win, of course, right? Like if there's any other game in the season that you want to win, this is that game. And, I bring it to West Virginia versus Pitt, right? There's been so many games that have come down to the fourth quarter or late in the fourth quarter. There hasn't been many that have just been a complete blowout. And that's those rivalry games. And this was just that. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, especially for Farmageddon. So Iowa State coming out on top, 20-19 over number 21 Iowa. Now, what did I say last week? If you were in the show and you were watching last week, I said, Kuz got on here and said, everyone, please hit the like for Matt. Yeah, if you don't mind, if you're watching right now, hey, go ahead and press that like button for me. Get some likes rolling in here. I'd really, really appreciate it. It means so much to me, especially getting on here and talking to you guys. I love talking sports, and especially Big 12. I love the Big 12. And so if you guys could just hit that like button for me, greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Kuz. I appreciate that. But anyways, where was I? Iowa State. Where's it at? There it is. I said last week, if Iowa State gets out of Iowa and beats a number 21 ranked Iowa, it's very possible that we will see an undefeated ranked Iowa State team coming into Morgantown. And you're talking about a big game. That's going to be huge. And that's what we want to see, right? We want to see our Mountaineers continue to win. We want to see Iowa State continue to win. I said it last week again. Matt Campbell, great coach. Love what he's doing at Iowa State. John Dry said, I like Mike. That's funny. Yeah, you got to give it to Matt Campbell, what he's doing there. I hope that we are able to see both teams coming into that game. Of course, we're not going to be undefeated, but it'd be great to see an undefeated Iowa State team come into Morgantown for that game. I definitely will be looking forward to that. When is that? That is October 12th. October 12th, Iowa State will be rolling into West Virginia. And we still have we have 3 games before that: Pittsburgh, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. So we're looking forward to that one. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it rolling. Iowa State gets by Iowa 20-19. Next, Nebraska and Colorado. A lot of people are looking for Colorado's downfall. Fair enough. I get it. There's Matt. Glad to see you, man. Yeah, a lot of people are looking for Colorado's downfall. Makes sense. A lot of talking, a lot of showing off. I get it. You can't. Like I said, there's a fine line there, right? You can talk as much as you want. You can showboat as much as you want for just a little bit. But I think there's just a fine line of going too far. And I believe that Colorado sometimes just go too far, if we're honest. And a lot of people are looking for the downfall. And Matt Rule and Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, were ready to put a beat down on Colorado. And really, Nebraska could have beat them even worse. But they didn't. They held it up at 28-10. So, Matt said Nebraska covered for me. Yep. Let's get into the game on Kansas. Let's get into the game on Kansas. Looks ticked off tonight. I'm glad I picked him to cover the 7 I got earlier in the week. Yeah. It's, I thought that Kansas – actually, I'm going to get into that game. I'm trying to run through these real quick of what we got last week. I'll go ahead and say Shedeur Sanders, 23-38, 244 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Travis Hunter doing what Travis Hunter always does, 10 receptions, 110 yards. Colorado, plenty of people didn't think they were going to win many games in the Big 12 this year, and not looking that way, huh? I don't think they will. So anyways, let's keep moving forward to the last game that we talked about. I'll just touch briefly on this because, of course, why not? Garrett Green or West Virginia beats Albany 49-14. 49-14. And it was one of those games where West Virginia had to go in and prove to their fans, hey, we can move the ball. Our offense isn't stale. We have these explosive guys on our team that can make plays, move us down the field. And they did that. They did that on offense. But an area that I thought lacked, and of course everyone seen that it lacked last week, and that's why Jordan Leslie, the defensive coordinator, touched base on this. The secondary was still not good. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they gave up another 300 yards through the air to the Albany quarterback, and you just can't do that. The secondary's got to tighten up. But now Jordan Leslie, he came out and said, look, we're going to fix it. It's a simple fix is what he said. So we'll see what happens. It's a big chance tomorrow, of course, against Pitt, backyard brawl. We will see where Leslie has these guys. I hope that they improve much, much, much more because, man, 2 weeks now in a row that secondary has looked rough. Now, our defensive line looked better. Our defense, I said that our defensive line needed to look a lot better this week, and they did. They looked much, much better. So kudos to them. I'm glad they played better. I'm glad that our offense got off the ground a little more finally. So, again, West Virginia coming away with a 49-14 win over Albany. Let's move forward into this week's games. Like Matt said, we're going to get into it here. And, of course, I got to start with this because it's going on right now. UNLV at Kansas. Now, after last week, I kind of felt like Kansas was going to lose. Not before the game. I'm not going to say before the game. But during the game, I was watching the game, and just I want to say the momentum and the way that Syracuse was playing the whole game, I was like, man, Kansas better watch out. They're looking like they might lose this game. Syracuse is really looking to make some noise. So Matt said Kansas was kind of cheated out of the Illinois game. Did I say Syracuse? I meant Illinois. I'm so sorry. They're both orange. Oh, well, it is what it is. Kansas was kind of cheated out of the Illinois game, and I never say that. Just go back and watch it, third quarter on. Maybe. But you got to give it to Illinois. Illinois played a really solid game in the second half. And look, Kansas, I just want to update you guys real quick. Kansas scored 6 minutes to go in the first, and it will be 7-0 for Kansas against UNLV. I just want to say, though, back to this UNLV-Kansas game. After the way UNLV played, and I know it's Houston, I know that, but they beat Houston 27-7. And they're coming out against Kansas 2-0. They beat Houston and Utah Tech. I know, it's Houston and Utah Tech. But they dropped 72 points on Utah Tech. I mean, it's Utah Tech. I'm sounding repetitive, I know. But I kind of figured them coming into the game 2-0, and they already have a win over Houston. They're ready to play another Big 12 school. I expected them to give Kansas everything they could handle, right? I fully expect that this game. But, hey, who played Utah Tech? UNLV. UNLV played Utah Tech and beat them 72-14. But like I said, it's Utah Tech. Repetitiveness here, but yeah. Oh, yeah, UNLV. UNLV has 2 All-Americans back from last year. They are good. Yes. No, UNLV is solid. And that's what I'm saying. They're coming into this Kansas game 2-0 and ready to play. But Kansas already scored 7-0. But we'll see what UNLV has to return here, has to answer, right? Don't be surprised if this is a close game. Don't be surprised. I expected it to be, may not be. Kansas still has a really good offense. So don't be surprised if it's not a close game. That Neal kid for Kansas is legit. He will play on Sunday. Yeah, that guy, hey, he's solid. I'm thinking here back, he gave us all kinds of trouble. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. But yeah, he's a heck of a running back. You got to give it to him. How did they move the ball here? The first. Jalen Daniels was 4 of 5 in the opening drive for 39 yards. Wow. Give it to Jalen Daniels, right? Kansas defense is really good. The play calling was real bad last week. They didn't go to Neal enough. He has 120 yards on Illinois. Yeah, you're probably right, Matt. You're probably right. But hey, I mean, they got Jalen Daniels too, and he's a playmaker, right? He's a playmaker, and I believe that last week they were just expecting. I don't know. I don't know what was running through the mind, but yeah. Jalen Daniels was 4 of 5, 39 yards. He also had 2 carries for 19 yards, and he is the one who scored the touchdown. Yeah. Devin Neal had 4 carries for 14 yards. And then Lawrence Arnold had 1 carry, had a 14-yard carry. Nice. So, yeah, UNLV, what's the line? Let's see, Kansas. They're saying Kansas by 9, and the over-under is 57.5. Just to throw that out there. We're going to head and move on to the next game because there is another game tonight that we're looking forward to. Should be another really good game, maybe. And I'm going to explain here why I'm not too sure about this one. 2-0, number 20, Arizona against undefeated 2-0, number 14, K-State. This game here, is the same thing with West Virginia. I am a little bit suspect on Arizona's defense. And Kansas State is going to be, K-State isn't a team that you could be lackluster on defense at all. You know, we talked about it last week. Appalachian Scottist. Hey, y'all. Hey, how's it going, man? Glad to have you here. Glad to bring some more people in here. If you guys don't mind, like I said earlier, go ahead and hit that like button down there for me. I'd greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. We're talking Big 12 football, college football. Who doesn't like that? And I'm trying to do my best. I know right now my background is a virtual background. It's a little bit, wonky. We'll get that figured out, and I'll get my audio figured out much more as well. But, hey, we're here, and we're talking about it, and I'm glad to have you guys with us. Matt said K-State defense is real bad. They gave up 444 yards last week on Tulane. Yeah, and also that quarterback isn't – we're only 2 games in, okay? So let's not get too overly worked up about it because West Virginia's not playing too hot either. But I feel like really the entire country is wide open right now. There's a few teams that look really good, as always. I think that Georgia still looks good. They always do. Ohio State looks really good. So, but, there's just in the Big 12, I feel like it's wide open right now. And then Utah, you got Cam Rising. He gets injured. Who knows what's going to happen in the Big 12? Oklahoma State's defense doesn't look that great. Like you said, K-State's doesn't look that great. So, hey, we'll see, man. I'm not too sure. Anyways, back to this game, K-State and Arizona. Now, you got to remember, Arizona beat – who was it that they beat 61-39? And at one point, it was a very close game in week 1. Who was that? I'm going to look right now. New Mexico. They gave up 39 points to New Mexico. Whew. That's a little rough. Some no-name school. They're not no-name. It's New Mexico. I'm not saying they're by no means, up there, but it's New Mexico. The Lobos. Yep, the Lobos, 61-39. So they gave up 39 points to them. They scored 61, but my problem comes in that at one point in the game, before it was 61-39, it was a close game. Very close game. If I click on it here. Yeah, it's tied 14-14 after the first quarter. At halftime, it was 24 to 27? 27-24? Yeah, 27-24 at halftime. 27-24 at halftime. Shoo, man, that's crazy. And then, of course, Arizona comes out in the third quarter, scores 21 points to New Mexico 21-7, and then they score 13-8 in the fourth quarter. So, man, I'm very suspect on Arizona, which is funny because before the season started, I was not high on Arizona winning the Big 12, but I was putting them, in the top, I would say 5 or 6. Not with that kind of defense. And, yeah. You're right, though. K-State's defense hasn't looked the best. either. Who did they play? K-State. Did they play week 2? Yeah, they beat. Oh, yeah, that's right. We just talked about it. They gave up 27 points to Tulane and 440 yards to Tulane. So you're right. But again, as I was talking about Tulane last week, almost beating or yeah, that's who I was talking about. I said Tulane might beat K-State. Tulane's a good team. Yeah, Tulane and their freshman quarterback. Yeah. Matt said Arizona lost their coach. They aren't as good as what people thought. Well, didn't they? They lost their coach and they lost like several starters, didn't they? And that's when people started to really just come back down the earth on Arizona. After they started losing all these people, it was like, oh, man, they're probably not going to be as good now. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a better game than what I'm letting on. I don't know. It might just be an offensive, ridiculous game. K-State will win this one, in my opinion. Yeah, I believe K-State will definitely win. I'm going to make my predictions here towards the end of the show because I'm still thinking on a few. I'm not sure. This game, I'm not sure. I believe K-State's going to pull it out. I just don't know what to expect the score to be. Yeah. We'll see. That game starts at 8 o'clock, by the way, on Fox for you guys. You need to know that. The spread is K-State by 7 right now, and the over-under is 61.5. I got that scrolling at the bottom. Matt says, I got Arizona covering. Yeah? You're probably right, but K-State winning. You're probably right. It might be a I take K-State, John says. Yeah. I believe I'm definitely going to roll with K-State. I just don't know what score to take yet. It'd be kind of wild. We haven't seen one of those 44-41. That is a solid score, a barn burner. You got that right. I definitely believe we're looking at a barn burner for sure. But Arizona's offense might be better than K-State's. It's all going to come down to who gets the defensive stop because neither defense is that good. So who can get the defensive stop? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm still. Let me think on it. Like I said, I'll give some predictions towards the end. Let me think on that one. We're going to move forward to the next game. Again, we got UNLV and Kansas going on right now. Kansas is up 7-0. We already spoke about that game. Arizona, number 20 Arizona, and number 14 K-State. They come on at 8 o'clock on Fox. So we're going to move on to our next game. I got to keep the trend going, right? Last week, I wanted to talk about because Matt Rule and Nebraska, I think, are a fantastic team. But of course, everyone's talking about Colorado. They're always in the media. So I wanted to throw them in there. Got to throw them in there again this week. And you know why? John says 8 Central Time. No, John, it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's what? Central Time's an hour behind, right? So 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, I should have been more specific on that. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. But yeah, so we got to talk about this game. Have to. It's Colorado's rivalry week. Colorado and Colorado State. Colorado State gave them. My bookie said take Colorado State straight up that Colorado is a fraud. Whoo! Hey, that's some heavy words. I don't know about that. They might be. What I was going to say, though, is that Colorado State gave them a heck of a game last year. And last year is when really everyone was just riding so high on Colorado and Deion Sanders. And it just blew my mind because it was, number one, it's Deion Sanders' first season at Colorado. And Colorado wasn't really that great before he got there, and he didn't really make that much noise in the transfer portal. He didn't really bring that many people in. So I just didn't get it. I don't know. And they go into the game against Colorado State, and they barely come out with a win in that one. And I don't understand why, after Colorado played the game of their lives at TCU. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about that game. Yeah, okay. I forgot about that. That is true. The TCU game is why everyone was riding so high on them. I forgot. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah. That kind of just threw me back because I completely forgot about that. But still, even after that game, I was like, I tell you where I was after that game. I kind of sat back and I looked at it in a bigger picture, more than what a lot of the media did, I guess. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, there was a lot of hype, and they played that game. Was it at TCU or was it a home game? I'm about to look. It was at TCU. Yeah. Yep. It was at TCU. Yeah. I mean, again, that's why everyone started riding so high. There was already a bunch of hype for Colorado coming into the season. So for them to get that win, it was TCU's fault for playing them first game of the season. I honestly believe if they would have played almost anyone that first game of the season, they probably would have won, simply because nobody knew what they were coming in with. And hey, unfortunately for TCU, they had to be the first ones to go down. But anyways, I mean, after that, for the rest of the season, this is my point here. For the rest of the season, Colorado did not impress me that much, especially for them coming into year two, and so much of the media just putting this team up on a pedestal. I don't understand it. So yeah, they're going up against Colorado State, rivalry game. We already talked about it earlier in the show. It does not matter what kind of team you have. West Virginia and Pitt, one team could be terrible, but it doesn't matter. When it comes to that rivalry game, it's probably going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight every time. So expect a good game with Colorado and Colorado State. I expect it to be another close one. Matt said it's Coach Prime, Matt. You know that he has a circus that they always talk about him. Yeah, that's my point. That's my point, is that they're just throwing them in the spotlight because of Coach Prime. And, you know, we talked about it last week, Matt. I like Coach Prime. It's just sometimes they do too much. And too many people wish on their downfall, or a lot of people wish on their downfall because of that. So, again, Colorado's favored by 7.5. Over-unders 58.5. Should be a good game. Colorado State gave them a good game last year. So don't be surprised if Colorado State beats them this year. Don't be surprised. Again, my predictions are coming. All right, let's move forward. Just they're giving you updates in the chat there. I guess UNLV, let's see. UNLV, they had a fourth down. It went for it and got it. So UNLV pushing the ball. They're on the Kansas 15. UNLV and Kansas playing right now, first quarter. 2 minutes to go. And Kansas is up 7-0. But UNLV is driving. So we'll see if they can tie it up here. All righty, we're going to move forward. Move forward. Next game. UCF at TCU. 2-0, undefeated 2-0 UCF at undefeated 2-0 TCU. This is another one of those games. Let's pause for a second. Matt said UNLV is looking good. Hey, I told you, don't expect this game to be close. UNLV is a solid team, and they already beat Houston 27-7. You know they're coming into this game, especially at Kansas, ready to beat another Big 12 school. That's definitely in their mind. That was probably, up on their bulletin board. Let's go make noise in the Big 12. Kansas was ranked. Yeah, Kansas was ranked. They got beat by Illinois. So, hey. Anyways, 2-0 UCF at 2-0 TCU. This is an interesting game because this is my lock of the week, Matt said. Nobody is giving UCF the credit, but the nation's number one run offense this early season wins at TCU. UCF by a touchdown. I'm locking it up. It's a solid pick, I believe, Matt. I don't want to say that nobody is giving UCF the credit because I was speaking with several people about UCF a couple weeks ago. And there were people that were putting UCF in the top 3 or 4 in the Big 12 this year. And I hadn't seen that in the offseason. I hadn't seen it at all. And then some of these lists are coming out, and I'm seeing UCF that won. There were a few people who had UCF winning the Big 12. And I'm thinking, what is going on? UCF? But on me, pump the brakes for a minute. UCF coming into this week, the nation's number one run offense. Hey, who's seen this coming except UCF fans? And TCU, the only thing that I think right now that TCU has on their side, of course, is it's being played at TCU. Thank God for them. You see the line. I got it scrolling at the bottom. TCU, they got TCU by 2 right now. It might be pretty solid. Again, I said it last week. Just a quick update. UNLV got a field goal. It is 7-3 Kansas. A minute to go in the first, minute and a half to go in the first quarter. 7-3. Not bad. But yeah, back to this. I didn't expect UCF, especially after last season. I didn't expect UCF to be at the very top. And I'm not going to say, I was going to say top half, and then I was going to say mid Big 12, but I don't want to say that because I feel like that's not giving them credit because they were pretty decent last season, right? Let me look up UCF football right here. I know West Virginia beat UCF, right? But they were decent last year. Let's see. They got beat by Georgia Tech 30-17. They beat Houston. They got beat by Texas Tech. They beat Oklahoma State 45-3. They beat Cincinnati 28-26. They lost to number 15 Oklahoma 31-29 at Oklahoma. Wow. I mean, if you look at this, even their losses, I want to say even their losses, okay, they lost K-State 44-31, Baylor 36-35. They got beat by Kansas 51-22. So, Matt said UCF has a great running back, and KJ Jefferson went to UCF to play QB. UCF got a bunch of transfer kids. They returned a lot, but the transfer portal is what helped them a lot. Yeah, clearly, they did a heck of a job in the transfer portal. You got to give it to them. That's amazing. I mean, they come out. Who have they beat? Let's see. Let me go to their schedule. So they're smart. They're smarter than most teams. They played New Hampshire first game of the season, beat them 57-3. And then second game, they played Sam Houston, beat them 45-14. Smart. I mean, they brushed up on their game before they were ready to play a big game in TCU. Smart on their part. UCF played air the first two games. Yeah, exactly. But hey, I can't blame them. That's smart on their part. I mean, they go out and they put up 57 and then 45, and their defense does what it's supposed to. So they're riding high coming into TCU. You know, they're thinking games at 7:30 on Fox at TCU. Prime time to go in and give it to TCU. I think you're solid on UCF there. I think you're right. Of course, I said earlier TCU is a 2-point favorite right now. The over/under 62.5. I don't know what my prediction is going to be on that yet. I know what I did say before the season started. I spoke with Kuz about it, and that is that UCF has Gus Malzahn, man, and he's a heck of a coach. I think that anytime you have a coach like Gus, you're going to have a good team, a good squad. And he knew what he was doing when he went to the transfer. It's like you said, they did a heck of a job in the transfer portal. He knew what he was doing to get ready for this year. And I didn't think they were going to, get over that far over the hump. But hey, if they win this game, who do they have next? Oh, wow. Wow. They play TCU this week, and then they go back home to play UCF. We will definitely be talking about that game next week. Not to mention, after that game, they play Florida. So then they play Cincinnati. Iowa State at Iowa State. BYU at home. Arizona at home. Arizona at Arizona State. At West Virginia, and then home against Utah. Man, their schedule's pretty tough. But Matt said Malzahn is his own worst enemy. He makes things too complicated. Sometimes, yeah. And honestly, that's why I believe that they haven't, I want to say projected to the next level, moved forward a little more than what they have. But this could be the year that they have a pretty solid season, and then you might want to look out for them next year. Hey, maybe you want to look out for them towards the end of this season. We will see how they fare against some of these teams, at Florida, at Iowa State, even at home against, BYU, Arizona, Utah, and they got to go to Morgantown. So we'll see what happens with them. I don't know. I don't know yet. You got me riding a little high on UCF right now. Let's see how they fare against TCU. If they come away with that win, I definitely believe they're going to beat Colorado. I don't know how Florida. I know Florida's 1-1. Who did they lose to? Miami, 41-17. Yeah, that's right. I watched that game. 41-17. They'll probably beat Florida. Yeah. Man. I don't know. This game right here will be a solid time to see who they are. We'll be able to see who UCF is against TCU. And my motto for this week is we are looking at the early pretenders or contenders for the Big 12 title. I think it's a solid week to really look at, okay, who's coming forward now to contend for the Big 12 title? Who's falling backwards to become pretenders and falling to the bottom of the conference? I think it's a solid week to speak about that. You have plenty of games to go off of. So UCF at TCU, West Virginia at Pitt, rivalry game, solid game to go off of. Several games here that we can go off of to really tell. Colorado, as you were saying, Matt, earlier, Colorado State. Your bookie was saying to take Colorado State because Colorado's faking it. They're pretenders. It's very well possible. And it's a perfect week to talk about it. Moving on to the next game, of course, my final game we're talking about this week. As every week, this will be every week. Our final game we're speaking about, it's Backyard Brawl Week, baby. We're ready for this. West Virginia at Pittsburgh. Last time we were in Pittsburgh, or I should say last time the Mountaineers were in Pittsburgh, didn't fare so well for us. We had JT Daniels coming in at quarterback. Fan base, everyone thought that JT Daniels was ready to come in and ball out in Morgantown. That did not go as planned for him or for us. I say us, but for the fans. So we went into that game and we lose 38-31. I believe the final tally was. JT Daniels throwing the hey, I don't even like saying it. Pitt got a freak luck play to beat us. Let's say it like this. It hit James right in the chest and bounced up, and they picked it. Yeah. I don't like talking about it. It's a little rough. But nonetheless, they got the nail in the coffin. Interception to seal the game last time in Pittsburgh, 38-31. Heck of a game. That was a heck of a game. I was so excited for that game, and then I remember them running onto the field. And of course, it's a night game. And it was just amazing. I was so happy for that game to be back, especially in a night game. Just nothing like it. And then we come back last season in Morgantown. Backup quarterback, Nico, goes in, plays pretty well. We come away with a 17-6 victory over Pittsburgh Panthers. Fast forward, 2024, tomorrow. It is West Virginia back at Pittsburgh. And right now the money line, I want to say earlier today, the money line, the line is at West Virginia 2.5. Earlier it was at 1, West Virginia by 1. And it's been changed. It is now West Virginia 2.5. The over-under is 63.5. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I kind of feel like you should take the under here. Don't take my opinion. Do what you want to do. But I don't feel like it's going to be scored that much. Koo said it was Bryce Ford Wheaton. I can't believe he dropped that ball. I felt bad for him, actually. Yeah, I felt terrible for him. It's just, gut punch. Hard gut punch. Appalachian Scottish says, I'm excited for the 12 Pitt fans that show up to be disappointed. Yeah. Hey. I don't know. Hopefully that stadium will be filled with Mountaineer fans rocking the stadium, as always. Matt says, TD, Kansas. Uh-oh. Quick update for you guys. Kansas has scored again. Kansas up 14-3. Daniels from 39 yards out. Wow. Jalen Daniels runs for 33 yards for a touchdown. So Kansas up 14-3 in the second quarter. 12 minutes to go. But yeah, back to this. I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping, okay? I believe West Virginia, I keep saying we. I believe West Virginia last week against Albany. I believe that they kind of got settled down. They found their identity a little bit. Okay. And this is a really good game to go get it, to go solidify your identity, right? And to play to your strengths. And what, of course, I said it earlier, the thing I'm worried most about is the secondary. Now, thankfully, I don't, Pittsburgh's quarterback isn't the greatest, but I don't really think that Drew Aller is all that great either. And the secondary made him look like a NFL quarterback. So I don't know what to expect. Jordan Leslie, again, said that it's an easy fix. We'll see. I don't know. it sure hasn't been fixed in 2 weeks. So hopefully they can make a big adjustment going into tomorrow. It's tough playing at Pittsburgh. Anytime you play a rivalry game and it's away, oh man, it's tough to win those games. Matt says, this is our game. We need to come in and salvage playing in this rivalry and embrace it. We are better than Pitt. We can beat Pitt. We will beat Pitt. I do believe that we are going to win. We should win. We do have the better team. The problem is there have been many times where we were better, where we had the better team, and we went in the Pit and we lost. Because it is a rivalry game, and it just, for some reason, that is just how the cookie crumbles in those rivalry games. I'm hoping that Garrett Green has himself a fantastic game. He's got to, as I said before, he's got to make plays with his feet. He has to make plays with his feet. If he makes plays with his feet, opens up the field a little bit, then he can throw it where he wants to. But he has to open up the field. He has to. C.J. Donaldson, made his mark last week. It was great to see him get over 100 yards on the ground again. It was great to see Jaheim White getting over 100 yards. Well, he was at 100 yards. Great to see that from those guys. So, yeah, Matt said the same thing. Green has got to move it with his feet. Let's pray he does. That's what I'm saying. Garrett Green has to make some plays on his feet so he can make plays through the air. That's his forte. Like I said, that's the identity that they had to find last week. And what did he do? He ran for a long touchdown last week. That's his play style. That's what he's got to do. That's last week was a good week to figure it out, to be like, okay, what am I good at? Let's do that. Okay. And let's see. Let's confirm it. That's what I'm trying to think. Let's confirm it. Let's do it. Let's play to our strength so we can confirm it. Sometimes all you need is confirmation. All you need is to make those good plays, see yourself make those good plays, build that confidence that you can do it, and you're ready to go. And I'm hoping that tomorrow he goes into the game, he makes some plays with his feet, and then he opens it up for him to make plays through the air. Because I want these receivers to, start making plays, man. I want these receivers to start having opportunities to make plays. That's what I want. They're really good ball players, and they came here to win. They came here to perform. And I think Garrett Green is definitely a guy that can allow that to happen. Of course, we got the backfield to do it. C.J. Donaldson, Jaheim White. We have the backfield to open up the field. We just got to execute. If we execute and we play ball, I don't expect this game to be close. I know I said rivalries are always close, and I do. My prediction is kind of close. But we'll see. All right. So that's our games this week. I'm going to go through it like I did last week. Go through it real quick. We spoke about last week Utah beating Baylor. Let me turn off that other ticker. There we go. We got Utah, number 11 Utah beating Baylor 23-12. Cam Rising getting injured. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure of his status. I haven't seen anything. If somebody wants to put that in the comments, I'm not sure. But yeah, hopefully he's okay and he'll be back for Utah. I don't wish injuries on anyone. Second game we spoke about, Oklahoma State getting the win over Arkansas 39-31. In double overtime, Ollie Gordon not really making much noise throughout the game, comes away with the game-winning touchdown and 2-point conversion. Next game, fantastic game. Iowa State comes away with the win in Farmageddon 20-19 over number 21 Iowa. Matt Campbell told you he's going to have his Cyclones ready to play each week. Next game, Nebraska hammers Colorado 28-10. Turns Colorado into, I think, pretenders. I didn't even say that. I forgot. This is This is Pretenders or Contenders week. Utah, I think they are contenders. I think with Cam Rising at quarterback, if he comes back, I think they are contenders. I believe that they will prove that. They continue to prove that if Cam Rising is at quarterback. If Cam Rising isn't at quarterback, I'm not going to call them pretenders because it's unfortunate, and they still have the team to be contenders. So, Utah, contenders. Oklahoma State. They're riding the line with me right now. Especially, Matt says that Cam Rising is out this week. Uh-oh. Well, they play Utah State, so hopefully they won't need him. Hopefully. So, Oklahoma State is riding the line with me right now. I'm not too sure where I want to label them. I don't know if I want to label them contenders yet. They were my preseason contenders. I thought that they would win the Big 12 this season, but I'm not sure now. I don't know. I'm going to put them in the middle right now. It's a little gray area. I don't know yet. Don't mark me down for that one yet. I'm going to move forward. Iowa State. As of right now, Iowa State are contenders. Matt Campbell's team, they are contenders. They are always a tough, gritty team. They know how to play ball. They play it the right way. They are contenders. The Cyclones getting the win again over number 21, Iowa. At Iowa. It's not easy. Now, we all know where I stand with this. Nebraska pounds Colorado 28-10. And where are we at with Colorado? Colorado's pretenders. They've been pretenders for a while, unfortunately. You can chalk them up on the pretender side. We all knew that was coming. We all knew that was coming. All right. Moving on. West Virginia, of course, gets the win against Albany, 49-14. I don't know. They're in a gray area for me as well. They're in a gray area for me as well. I don't know yet, but they get the win. Now, moving forward, here are my predictions. These are my predictions. And these games count towards the pretenders or contenders as well. UNLV at Kansas, it's already going on, and it'd be easy to make a prediction, so I don't really want to make a prediction here. Unfortunately for Kansas, though, after losing to Illinois, they are riding the fence on being pretenders. They were ranked preseason. They were ranked after week 1. So, they started as contenders. Now, I'm not so sure. They're riding the line on pretenders. They are. I might even put them on the pretender side. So, but as the game is going right now, Kansas is up 14-3. UNLV's on Kansas's 24. So I'm going to say Kansas does pull this game out. They will pull this game out, and I'm going to say probably 31-17. 31-7, or I'm going to say 31-20. I'm sorry. I'm going to change that. 31-20. 31-20, Kansas. Yeah. All right, moving forward. Next game comes on again in 1 minute. Or actually, yeah, it's coming on right now. I'm sorry. Coming on right now. Number 20, Arizona. At number 14, K-State. Boy, this game's going to be crazy. You might see a lot of scoring in this game. It's very possible. Very possible this is going to be a barn burner, guys. Very possible. I believe both teams, unfortunately for them, are pretenders. I do not think either of these teams are contenders for the title. As of right now, in week 3, I believe they are pretenders. Chalk them up on the pretender side. As far as my prediction goes, I'm going to predict that K-State pulls this one out. Matt gave his prediction earlier. He said 44-41. I think that is a solid prediction. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. I think I'm going to go 47-44. No. I'm going to go 45-38. That's what I'm going to go. 45-38, K-State. K-State wins. K-State pulls it out. That's my prediction for Arizona and K-State. 45-38. All right, moving forward. Real quick. Colorado and Colorado State. Of course, again, we already know Colorado's, I got them chalked up in the pretender slot. That's just it. That's where they're at. My prediction for Colorado at Colorado State. Matt says, let's hope it's that high of a game anyway. I got Arizona covering, though, to everyone. I believe it will be that high of a game. And of course, it could be an outlier, and it might not be. So, whatever. But as far as what I've seen, it's probably going to be a barn burner. Nonetheless, keep moving forward here. Colorado State. My prediction for Colorado and Colorado State is, man, I've been thinking about this, and I really do want to roll with your bookie. I believe that Colorado State could pull this one out. You know what? I think Colorado squeaks this one out. And I'm going to call it 24-21 Colorado. That's my prediction. 24-21 Colorado. Moving forward, UCF at TCU. Hey. Matt says, I'm going to say Colorado wins and they tie the line. There's no winner on the bet line. Colorado, 31-24 and the tie. Solid. I think that's solid. What'd I say? 24-21? I think that's solid. All right, UCF at TCU. In week three, you know what? I'm going to say that UCF is kind of riding the line of contenders right now. TCU, kind of in the middle. I won't call them pretenders, but I won't call them contenders either. They're Lock it. UCF wins by a touchdown. You know what, Matt? I agree with you that UCF wins, but I believe they win by more than a touchdown. Lock my prediction in at UCF wins at TCU. Let me think for a second. Probably. Let me go to their other. 34-27. Okay. I'm going to say 34-24 UCF. Matt says UCF 38-31. Yeah, that's solid. I think, or 37, maybe 37-27. I'm going to say 37-27. 37-27. UCF beats TCU. 37-27. That's my prediction. Lock it in. That's it. Moving forward. All right. West Virginia at Pittsburgh. I appreciate you guys staying in. This has been the second Matt's Big 12 Blitz show. I appreciate you guys being in here. It's awesome to talk to you guys about sports, especially Big 12 sports. It's great. And before I kick this prediction off and before we end tonight's show, I just want to say, if you haven't yet, hit that like button down at the bottom. Appreciate it so much. I hope you guys keep showing up, keep showing out for me. Lay some comments down in there. These guys don't have to be the only ones talking. Let's converse back and forth. Keep showing up, showing out, guys. We're going to keep talking Big 12 sports week in and week out. And, it's going to get even better. We're going to have some more stuff going on. It's just the start of this thing, right? Just the start of this thing. Matt said, I love this, bro. Please keep doing this. Hey, We're absolutely going to keep doing this every week, every Friday, 7 o'clock. And if it's not at 7 o'clock, I will let you know. Let's get some more people in on this. You guys tell your friends, tell everybody, share the link. And, hey, keep showing out for me. We're going to get this last prediction in here. And we're going to call it a night and go watch some football. I hope you guys are too. That's probably where everyone's at right now. I hope so anyways. Let's get this last prediction out before I get it out. Matt says West Virginia forces 2 turnovers and plays keep away, running the ball and executes touchdowns instead of field goals. I got WVU winning 41-27. That's a good prediction, Matt. That is a very good prediction. I think mine's going to be sort of similar. I think that West Virginia has the much better team. I want to point out as well, don't think I didn't see it. Don't think I didn't see it. Peninsula P says Pitt by 2 touchdowns. Don't think I didn't see that. I seen that. I was just waiting to bring it up. My prediction, West Virginia is the better team. What sucks is it's at Pittsburgh. It's very tough. Even if Pittsburgh isn't that great. And they beat Cincinnati, so, you know, they got a win out in their win column, okay? But I believe that West Virginia is better, and I believe that they do enough to win this game. I believe that the run game's too much for them. I believe that Garrett Green actually does too much for Pitt to cover with his legs. Matt said, yeah, I overlooked the Pitt fans after we lost to Penn State. I'll never go and troll other teams' fans again. Yeah, that was a little rough. So this is what I'll say. I already put my prediction out. So, you know, it's out there. You can go see it. And I'll just read it for you guys here. I said Panthers. Pittsburgh came back to beat Cincinnati 28-27. But I don't believe that win will hold much weight. I mean, Cincinnati's good, but, you know, it's a good win for Pittsburgh. I'll say that. But the Mountaineers are still within the proving grounds with the fans and the nation. Leslie claims the defense is an easy fix. Head coach Neil Brown believes our best ball is in front of us. To be honest, I'm not sure what to think just 2 games into the season. What I am sure about is I do believe the Mountaineers are much better than the Panthers this year. It will all hinge on how the defense decides to play and if head coach Neil Brown has prepped this offense to execute much better than week 1. You can never expect a runaway game in the backyard brawl, even when one team should be far beyond the other. You never can. Even though we've had iterations of the backyard brawl that have been blowouts, most of the times you can expect the game to be pretty close. In my prediction for this week or tomorrow for the backyard brawl, I believe the Mountaineers win in a sort of close one, but I believe Pitt might score late to just make it look close. I believe West Virginia pulls out a 30-21 victory in Pittsburgh, and the Mountaineers move to 2-1. That's my predictions, guys. That's my predictions. I appreciate you guys showing up tonight. Matt says, I know one thing. West Virginia could beat the heck out of Pitt and challenge for the Big 12 title and win 9 games, and our fans will talk crap about him. Yeah, probably. I hope that if West Virginia beats Pitt, they keep that momentum flowing, and we do win 9 or 10 games. That would be great. That would be fantastic. We'll see what happens, though. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys showing up. There was, a good number of people in here tonight. And share it out to your friends. Share it out to your family. Get them in here next week. And let's all talk Big 12 football. Previous games and future games. We're all in here having a good time. We're all here talking football. We love it, right? So this is Matt Thornsberry with Big 12 Blitz. Thank you guys for being here. Go watch some football. Let's watch some football tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.